We want to give people a chance at life. They have never had a chance at life because the Gaza Strip has been a hellhole for people living there. It's been horrible. Hamas has made it so bad, so bad.
On February 4, 2025, Donald Trump stepped into the Israel-Palestine conflict with a ceasefire proposal that, on the surface, seemed like a peace deal. But when you look closer, it's clear why it was doomed to fail. And here's why. At first glance, it sounds like a reasonable step forward: a phased ceasefire, hostages released, and eventual negotiations. But let's break it down. What does Trump's plan actually do? And more importantly, who does it benefit? The biggest issue? It overwhelmingly favors Israel. The deal demands that Hamas lay down its weapons and release all hostages before Israel even considers pulling back its military operations. In essence, Hamas would be conceding defeat with no guarantees, something no militant group would accept, especially in a conflict this deep-rooted. Now, it's true that in earlier stages of the war, hostage exchanges happened. Hamas released several Israeli hostages in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. But this was before October 7, 2023. That's when Hamas militants launched an unprecedented attack on Israel, breaching what was thought to be an unbreakable border and killing over 1,100 Israelis in a single day. Not only that, they abducted over 240 people, including children, women, and the elderly. In retaliation, Israel, backed by the United States, began a military campaign that has since left over 60,000 Palestinians dead, including more than 17,000 children, and displaced over 1.5 million people. Never in the 75 years of Israeli control, direct or indirect, over Gaza has there been such an escalation. But here's the thing: many regional analysts had warned that Israel's tight control over Palestinians was a ticking time bomb. And yet, no one predicted that a small militant group could pull off such a devastating attack on one of the world's most highly guarded countries. So what did Trump do? He blamed his predecessor, Joe Biden, for being soft on Iran, a known backer of Hamas. Trump promised to end the war within days of taking office. And to his credit, he acted quickly. Just 4 days after becoming the 47th U.S. president, he pushed through a temporary ceasefire. But here's where it fell apart. The details of Trump's deal were its own undoing. Under his plan, Hamas had to release all hostages, dead or alive. In return, Trump proposed a radical solution: that the U.S. and its allies take over Gaza and rebuild it into what he called the Arabian Riviera. Palestinians, under this plan, would be relocated, and they would need permission to return. Let's be honest. If a group of people say they are willing to die for their land and freedom, and the so-called peace deal suggests they must give that up entirely, it's a non-starter. Even within Israel, this proposal sparked controversy. For Israel, there were no immediate consequences for rejecting or delaying the ceasefire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, under immense pressure from his right-wing coalition, wasn't likely to agree to any deal that restricted Israel's military operations in Gaza. And history tells us why. Ceasefires in this conflict have often been temporary, brief pauses before the next wave of attacks.